You're watching Sports Central on CBS Los Angeles, sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
And hello again, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Sports Central Saturday. I'm Jim Hill, joined by my partners, former USC running back Stafon Johnson, and of course, Mark Medina. And gentlemen, this is going to be another good show and a lot of fun we're going to have this afternoon.
Wonderful weekend, some great football. I'm ready to get to it.
A lot of potential upsets. Don't want to give away the ending, but this has been an epic college football day.
Way to put it. That'll keep everybody up. You better believe it. All right, when you think about it, my friends, it would be hard to have gotten off to a worse start this season than UCLA. The Bruins are 0-4 and have already moved on from their head coach, both offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators. So it didn't figure to get any better with the #1 Penn State Nittany Lions at the Rose Bowl today. But UCLA seemed to really have their swagger back today. Former Bruins coach and Rick Neuheisel's son Jerry took over play calling duties today, and it works early on as UCLA finds the end zone on their opening drive. They were the only FBS team not to hold a lead in any game this season until now, 7-0 for the Bruins. And UCLA really gets aggressive on the kickoff. Look at this. How about an onside kick that leads to an early field goal and an early 10-0 lead? Let's go to the second quarter now. UCLA leads 10-7. Their quarterback, known as Nico, connects with his receiver for the score. A surprise start for the Bruins, and they lead by a score of 17-7. And the defense showed up in the first half. And the offense just kept on firing. Nico airs it out deep and finds a receiver. UCLA is really in business, and good for them because just 2 plays later, Nico does it himself. How about this? UCLA is rolling at the Rose Bowl. The Bruins took a 27-7 lead into the locker room at halftime. But Penn State got back into it in the third quarter, Stafon.
Yeah, this came out of nowhere. He kind of slipped out the side and up the sideline with this crazy pass with the great Power Ranger hit.
And just like that, the Nittany Lions trailed by just 6 points. So the question now is, would UCLA have an answer? You better believe it. 3rd and 7 from their own end zone right here, and Nico takes off. He's got more than just a first down. What about a run for the young man? 52-yard gain to set up the Bruins. And a few plays later, Nico caps off the drive with another rushing score. UCLA now leads it 34-21. Start of the fourth quarter. Penn State answers with a rushing score of their own. What a game we have here, my friends. And the Nittany Lions are back to within 6 points. But Nico and the Bruins just shredded the Nittany Lions on the ground, Stafon.
Yes, I mean, 126 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns, 166 yards on passing and 2 touchdowns. He did a wonderful job. Neuheisel out there doing his thing.
And a big moment here, 3rd and goal, and Nico does it again. What a game for him. He finds the end zone and gives UCLA a 42-28 lead. New play caller Jerry really loves it, and his dad back in the studio is joining in on all the love as well. But Penn State still has some time with over 4 minutes left, and they get a much-needed touchdown, now trailing by just 7 points. You want more? You're going to get it because UCLA has the ball back, trying to really put the game away on 4th down. But Penn State comes up with a big stop when they had to. Not the best play call there. UCLA coach Tim Skipper just really can't believe what happened. So here's the ball game, my friends. Penn State has 4th and 2 from the 9, looking to tie the game. But the Bruin defense comes up with a stop to put this game away and hand Penn State an upset. How about this? Nico responsible for 5 touchdowns. UCLA wins a thriller, and Jerry is the hero. 42-37 is the final score. Here's Skipper on his quarterback's performance.
Big-time players make big-time plays, and that's what he did out there. You know, there's times we have drop back passes and nobody's open and he just takes off, makes a guy miss, and it springs an explosive run. He's a player. I mean, he's a football player. It doesn't matter what the play call is. You have to always account for him, and he rises to the occasions. That's the main thing I love about him. There's no pressure too big for him, so he applies pressure to defenses. So I'm just happy for him, man. He's our leader of the team. Everybody voted. He was the #1 vote getter on the team for captains, and I just love that kid and appreciate him so much.
Yeah, talk about pressure. They think precious for tires when you think about it, guys. What a win for UCLA. That's the most shocking result in quite some time in college football. That is for sure.
I think that this is the type of win, these are the type of performances that you have to expect from Nico. You know, to be able to not only do it on the ground, but do it on the air, and to make something out of nothing, improvise when the pocket breaks down, and be able to see when there's one man-to-man and has that open field, and they don't have a spy to check and see what he's doing. To hurt them in that manner definitely gave them the W today.
Yeah, but this is completely shocking, as you mentioned, Jim. I mean, UCLA hadn't won a single game this season, 0-4. They went through coaching changes. Nico was a huge transfer, but he was struggling to produce offense. Guys, before this game, they had 5 field goals, 3 touchdowns. They were able to have more touchdowns against the 7th best team in the country today than they had all season. So, huge win, obviously. Penn State is going to have some scrutiny. They had that double overtime loss to Oregon, but this is a whole other animal. But for UCLA, they should really relish this. They did all the right things.
And you know what they're saying now over at UCLA? How you like us now. That is for sure. All right, my friends, let's move on, because this was the kind of game that made Nico such an intriguing prospect. That's for sure, gentlemen.
I mean, we knew it all along. You know, he left Tennessee with expectations of doing it bigger, and they brought him into UCLA to do the same things, and it kind of shows why he's that big-time player. Penn State coming off a punch-drunk performance last week definitely gave him an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, he had his fingerprints literally on all 5 of their touchdowns. He threw 17 24 for 160 yards, got 2 touchdowns in the air, rushed for 3 touchdowns himself. So he set the tone with having a balanced offense, as well as just showing off his rushing attack. It was very lethal.
We saw some good things on the field, but how about this? How cool was it to see Jerry Neuheisel celebrate after getting the win in his first game calling plays, and then his father Rick's reaction as well?
Hey, a once wise man told me, DNA. To have the person that's already been in it, he's already seen it happen with his father, to come in this situation, he was able to give that young, youthful spunk to this UCLA offense.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Neuheisel has a great coaching resume doing this stuff at Texas A&M, but it's just very poetic because he led UCLA as a player to a comeback win over Texas in 2014 as a backup quarterback. So it's very poetic that he's now doing the same things in the thrusted position.
And knowing Rick Neuheisel the way that we do, that wasn't put on. That was real. They probably had to calm him down a little bit.
That was real. You had to tell him, time out. Just make sure daddy's okay. No, I mean, you can always feel that. You know, it was one of those moments where it was like, man, I'm sure they had a conversation before the game, and just to kind of give them that encouragement to go out there, and they had nothing to lose. They had nothing to lose. They came out there and gave Penn State everything they needed.
Yeah, proud dad moment. Jim, you know what else was real? There was footage of all the players carrying Jerry Neuheisel as if they had just won this amazing ball game. It was a regular season game, but given the context we outlined, 0-4 start up against number 7 Nittany Lions, this is a huge momentum boost. And it could outright change their entire season with how they respond moving forward.
And they will be talking about this game for a long, long time.